Hi, my name is Vicki Bensinger and I teach in-home culinary classes. And today I'm going to show you how to make guacamole, just in time for Cinco de Mayo. This guacamole recipe I especially love because it uses mango in it. And the mango gives it just that added flavor that just sets it over the top. So before we start though, I would like to show you how to make some baked tortilla chips, just with regular tortillas that you buy in the store. That way, it's a little healthier. You're not going out and buying a bag of fried tortilla chips. And I think you'll like it. So let me show you how we do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I have purchased some tortillas. So I have whole wheat tortillas here. And the first thing I'm going to do, take out a couple of these. This is really simple. And I'm going to just take some non-stick cooking spray and spray these lightly. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cumin. You don't want to add gob it up, but just enough to give it flavor. And what the non-stick cooking spray is going to do, this won't come out, there we go, is it's going to help the ingredients that I'm adding on top to stick. So you can add whatever ingredients you like. Then I'm also going to add a little bit of pepper. That was cumin I added. And just a little bit of pepper for both of these. And some salt. I've got sea salt here. You could use kosher salt, whatever you like. Himalayan salt, which is great for people who suffer from high blood pressure. And then all I need to do is take my little pizza cutter, and I'm going to start by cutting this into wedges so that we have our chips will be divided up when we go to eat them. And I've got my oven right now set for 350 degrees. Move this over. And I'm just going to bake those until they get brown. That'll take probably, well, I actually have my oven on convection bake, so it may only take about 10 minutes. And it could take a little more. I don't know if you have, it will take a little more actually if you have just a regular conventional oven. So I'm going to go ahead and just set these on a foil pan, just like that. Make sure they're separated before you put them on. Make sure you cut through them well, otherwise they're going to tear, or they're going to, they'll be crunchy, a little bit crunchy, so if you try to tear them apart afterwards, you'll end up with crumbs. You can do as many as you like. You can do different varieties. You can add, hot stuff, like cayenne pepper to it, whatever you like. So I'm going to go ahead. I just did two just to show you, but I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven right now. I'm going to set my oven for about 10 minutes. So now, we're going to go ahead and get started on our guacamole. Got my glass bowl here, and the first thing, this guacamole recipe you'll be able to find on my website, At Home with Vicki Bensinger, and you want to make sure when you pick out guacamole that there's just a slight, some slight give in the avocado. If your avocado is very firm, then what I suggest you do, and sometimes that's, like the other day I was at the store and that's all they had, they were hard as a rock. Make sure at the grocery store when you get home, you pick up a bag, a paper bag, put them in the paper bag, roll it up, roll the top up, and just set it on your counter. In a day or two, they will soften up. There's a certain type of gas, I don't recall the name now, but a certain type of gas that is emitted from the paper bag that will soften them. The same thing happens with bananas. Of course, if you have some ripe bananas in your in your house, you can always put these with ripe bananas and it will also help to soften them. So we're going to be using 3 avocados. We're also going to be using a mango. And mangoes are great. They're low in calories. There's no fat or cholesterol. They're high in vitamin C and vitamin A and B6. However, wash the mango really well. They do have a chemical in the leaves that is similar to that of poison ivy and poison oak. So you want to make sure that you wash the skin really well so that when you're cutting through it, none of that gets on the flesh. Okay, so now that we've got our tortillas in the oven baking, let's go ahead and start with our guacamole. We've got 3 avocados, as I mentioned. So I'm going to start by taking this and just taking my knife and going around. There's a seed inside. So I'm just going to go around like this, twist it, and then with your knife, you can do it like this, but to be on the safe side, go this way without your hand underneath it, which is what I typically do. And then you just, excuse me, you need to take your seed off, put that aside, and then we're just going to go ahead and score this, just like this. So we're going to be cutting it into small squares, so chunks. We're going to do this with all of them. And it's really simple. Then all you do is take your spoon, you stick it in just like this to scoop your avocado out. Let me bring my bowl over here. Just going to scoop our avocado out and put it right into the bowl. Just like that. There, because I was showing you, I messed up a little. And we're going to do the same thing again with this one and with the other 2. Some more. So this is 3 avocados. And it also calls for some lime juice. And I'm going to go ahead and right after I get this done, I keep getting the seeds in there, the stem. I'm going to go ahead and put the lime juice in right away, because the lime juice is going to help to stop, the acid in the lime juice will help to stop the avocados from turning brown. Slice my lime. I have a little lime squeezer here. I'm just going to put this in, and it calls for a tablespoon of lime juice. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze this in right now. I'm going to say probably, it looks like about a teaspoon. So 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. I might need, this one has more. That could be about a tablespoon right there, so maybe 1 lime. I'm just eyeballing it for now. And set that aside. So that should help it so that it doesn't turn. And I'm going to smash the avocado. You don't want to make it mush, but just kind of smash it a little bit. Just going to kind of coarsely mash our avocado so that we don't just have big chunks. Now if your avocado is not ripened, then you're not going to be able to mash it very well. Okay, so that looks good to me. I don't want to lose the texture. Got a half of a red onion that I'm going to add. Now I have already chopped the red onion, but I also put it in a strainer, ran some cold water over it. That helps to get rid of the really strong flavor of the onion. Okay. We've got all that. Let me push this aside. And then we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do our mango. So the mango has a seed right down the middle, but it's a flat seed. So you kind of have to cut on either side. So it's kind of a guessing game. And here I go. I got that one. And let's see here. Like that. And the seed is right. Do you see the seed right there? So we usually cut around that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the mango as I did my avocado. I'm just going to go ahead and slice it like this. So we have nice chunks. And you want to make sure as well that your mango is nice and ripe. Now you can feasibly just turn it inside out and cut it. But we should be able to take a spoon as well and just scoop this right out. And put it right into our bowl. Or you can do it the other way, which is easy as well, with a knife. Then the next thing we're going to do is we've got a serrano pepper, looks like this, and we've also got some cilantro that we want to add to it. We're just going to add about maybe 2 tablespoons of cilantro. So I'm just going to cut this. You want to chop it. And I use the stems as well, though that stem looks pretty big. The little stems, you know, like that right there. Those are fine. Just crumble it up, and then we're going to chop it. I've already washed this. Watch out, I almost got my finger there. You want to make sure when you're chopping that your fingers are bent in like this, so you don't cut off your fingernails or some skin. That would be disastrous. And I have done that before, so I've learned my lesson. Okay, so we've got some cilantro. I'm going to go ahead and add to it, and then leave a little for just to garnish it. And then we've got our serrano pepper, which is very hot, so we're just going to use half of a serrano. If you want to use a whole one, you can. But my family will be eating this later, and I'm not sure they're going to love it if if it's too hot, and I want it to be eaten. So I'm going to take the seeds out. If you leave the seeds in, it's going to be that much hotter. And be very careful, because once you touch the pepper, you want to be sure not to touch your eyes, even your nose, before washing your hands. And for goodness sakes, make sure you don't drop any on the floor and your dog picks it up. It would not be a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and dice this up. And we'll just make little dices here. Fine dice, because we don't want people getting a huge chunk. Line that all up. Hard to line them up. Okay, and I'm just going to try and dice that fine. So that's just going to add some little bit of additional flavor. Let me scoop all this up. And I'm going to add it. I'm going to mix this up. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And some pepper. And all this is to taste. And then mix this up just a little bit more, so everything blends together. Now, if you're going to eat it right away, that's great. If you're not, then you want to go ahead and put it in a container, put some saran wrap over it, some plastic wrap, and make the plastic wrap go right up to the avocado. That'll keep it from changing colors. But what I'm going to do, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead, have this nice little platter here. I'm going to add my guacamole to my platter, or to my container. Isn't that pretty with the mango in it, all the nice colors? I love this. It's so good. I mean, it is so good. You have no idea. I hope you'll try this. All right, well, I'm overflowing here. I'll have to eat that on my own later, what's left there. So we're going to put this in there. Sprinkle with a little bit of cilantro just to dress it up. And then I'm going to take out my tortilla chips. Need my here. I've got my tortilla chips that have baked. And I'm going to add these to my platter. Just like that. Many as, make as many as you want. Obviously, you're going to want to have more if you're serving company. And there you have it. Look at that. How beautiful is that? And I am going to take a little spoon here for now and put some of this on my chip. Do you see how beautiful that chip is? Just take a little bit on there. Take a bite. Mmm. Oh my God. No, I can't eat over it. This is so good. And look at how crispy. Mmm. It's perfect. And you know what I love? Rather than buying your own guacamole, rather than buying guacamole at the store, you've made your own. You know exactly what's in it. You've got your tortilla chips. They're not fried. They're crunchy. You've got the ingredients that you want on them. And everything is just delicious and perfect. What more could you ask for? So I hope you enjoy this recipe. And if you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, have a great time. Don't get too drunk, but just have a great time and lots of great food. So thank you for stopping by. I do hope you'll try this recipe. Check out my YouTube channel, Vicki Bensinger. There's lots of videos on there, and also go to my blog, At Home with Vicki Bensinger. Thanks again for coming by. Have a great day.